Hi everyone, I'm Sheriff Jim Fredericks, and I'm looking for your help to bring wanted persons to justice. The Sheriff's Office works hard to keep our community safe, and this is your chance to join me in locating people actively sought by law enforcement. So get ready, you're about to go around Anne Arundel County with me on the lookout. Hi, I'm Anne Arundel County Sheriff Jim Fredericks. Thanks for joining me on the lookout for August 2019. Calls keep coming in from viewers just like you, providing great info about where to locate wanted subjects around our county. Your tips have helped us arrest several individuals who have been featured on the show, helping to make our community safer. As a reminder, if you recognize a name or face, call our warrant tip line at 410-LOOKOUT or 410-566-5688. All right, let's take a trip around the county as we go on the lookout. Out of North County, our first subject is Christopher Michael Austin. He's a 37-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, blue eyes, 5'11", 170 pounds. Austin is wanted on 4 counts of failing to appear on first-degree burglary and attempted first-degree burglary charges. Austin was on probation at the time he picked up his latest charges for burglary, as well as theft between $100 and $1,500. He's a busy guy, which is the reason he had an additional warrant issued for a violation of probation. His last known address is 1208 Cathedral Drive in Glen Burnie. The next subject is Jeremy George Fuller. He's a 28-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, green eyes, 6'3", 235 pounds. Fuller has multiple warrants for violating a protective order. By court order, he is to have no contact with the petitioner in the domestic violence case. Yet, Fuller sent threatening text messages to the victim on several occasions. As a result of his ongoing behavior, warrants were issued for his arrest. Fuller's last known address is 918 Edgerly Road in Glen Burnie. Our next subject is Albert Sublett IV. He's a 38-year-old African-American male, brown hair, brown eyes, 6'2", 175 pounds. Sublett was placed on probation after being convicted of second-degree assault. He's been non-compliant with the terms and conditions of his probation and now has an outstanding warrant for violation of probation. His last known address is 322 Highland Drive, Apartment 1 in Glen Burnie. From the eastern parts of the county, our first subject is Jalen Kane. He's a 19-year-old African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, 5'7", 180 pounds. Kane has a warrant for unlawful taking of a motor vehicle, driving a vehicle without the owner's consent, and taking a vehicle without the owner's consent. His last known address is 16 Larbo Road in Millersville. The next subject is Rodolfo Antonio Calderon. He's a 27-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, green eyes, 5'6", 150 pounds. Calderon has a warrant for first and second degree assault and reckless endangerment. In May of this year, Calderon and his girlfriend had a disagreement that turned physical. Calderon dumped a bag of chips on her head, pushed her down to the floor, and repeatedly punched her in the face and on the back of the head. He's obviously a bad person, and we'd like to find him soon. Call the tip line if you recognize Rodolfo Calderon. His last known address is 1197 Latrobe Drive in Annapolis. Our next subject is William Earl Harrell Jr. He's a 46-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'10", 202 pounds. Harrell has warrants for violation of probation and has also failed to appear in court on multiple occasions. His probation began after a guilty conviction for malicious destruction of property. He failed to comply with the terms of probation and additionally failed to appear for traffic court on 2 occasions. His last known address is 8408 Early Dawn Lane in Pasadena. The next subject is Candace Christine Holtz. She's a 31-year-old Caucasian female, red hair, brown eyes, 5'7", 150 pounds. Holtz is wanted for a violation of probation. Holtz was convicted of CDS possession, not marijuana, on December 8th of 2017 and sentenced to 2 years probation. She failed to report to parole and probation as instructed since April of 2018, and several attempts to contact her at the address and phone number she originally provided were unsuccessful. Holtz's last known address is 1841 Choptank Road in Pasadena. Out of the southern part of the county, from Annapolis to the Calvert County line, our first subject is James Daniel Pindell. He's a 53-year-old African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, 6 foot, 185 pounds. Pindell is wanted for issuing false documents, theft between $100 and $1,500, obtaining goods or money by forgery, and forgery of private documents. On or about December 21st of 2018, Pindell went into 60 West Street, Annapolis, and cashed 2 money orders, each in the amount of $600. It was later discovered that the money orders appeared to have been altered or forged, and the original values of the money orders were actually $1.47 each. When originally interviewed by investigators, Pindell stated he received the money orders in his mailbox and then used the money orders to purchase gifts for himself and his family. Pindell's last known address is number 8 Monument Street in Annapolis. The next subject is Stacy Elizabeth Roberts. She's a 39-year-old Caucasian female, blonde hair, blue eyes, 5 foot, 132 pounds. Roberts is wanted for burglary in the 1st degree and burglary in the 4th degree, as well as theft between $1,500 and $25,000. Roberts, along with her boyfriend Charlie Lamb, were charged with breaking and entering into her mother's home. They were also charged with stealing a 1-carat diamond engagement ring valued at $2,000 and a gold wedding band valued at $300. Robert's last known address is 23 Acorn Drive in Annapolis. Our next subject is Philip Michael Cook. He's a 27-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, blue eyes, 6 foot 150 pounds. Cook has a warrant for first and second degree assault and reckless endangerment. His charges stemmed from a March 2019 fight with his girlfriend, during which he strangled her, causing marks, cuts, and bruises. His last known address is 19 Bobcat Court in Lothian. From West County, our first subject is Joseph Henry Daniel III. He's a 25-year-old African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Daniel was previously convicted of CDS possession with intent to distribute and agreed to participate in drug court. There were some restrictions he agreed to, such as not to engage in criminal activity, showing up for court, and no use of alcohol, drugs, or controlled dangerous substances. Daniel did not comply with those rules, resulting in a warrant being issued for failure to comply with adult drug court conditions. His last known address is 352 Dameron Street, Apartment S in Laurel. The next subject is Stephanie Lee Armstrong. She's a 34-year-old Caucasian female, brown hair, brown eyes, 5 foot 6, 128 pounds. Armstrong has a warrant for theft between $100 and $1,500. While house sitting for her boyfriend's mother, several pieces of jewelry turned up missing. Armstrong was later identified pawning some of the missing jewelry at a local pawn shop. Her last known address is 1903 Anawan Court in Hanover. Our next subject is Lana Ferrari. She's a 37-year-old Caucasian female, blonde hair, green eyes, 5 foot 11, 190 pounds. Ferrari has warrants for verbal extortion and threats of slander, prostitution, illegal possession of ammunition, possessing a rifle or shotgun when disqualified, peeping Tom, and failing to appear for her driving while suspended cases. Ferrari was arrested February 15th of 2019 by county police following a vice prostitution weapons violation investigation and failed to appear for court on May 31st of 2019. Her last known address is 1625 Bluestone Street, Apartment C in Hanover. It's bonus segment time. In June, we highlighted a few Father's Day subjects who failed to make child support payments. It was a popular part of the program, and today we're going to highlight a handful of older but significant cases. Our first subject is Anthony Dwayne Greer. He's a 54-year-old African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, 6'1", 185 pounds. Greer has a child support warrant issued over a dozen years ago. At the time of issuance, Greer was in arrears of $20,000. Greer also has a warrant through Baltimore County Police for failure to appear for a theft under $300 case. Greer's last known address is 3617 Lyndale Avenue in Baltimore. Our next subject is Peter Larome Lewis. He's a 42-year-old African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, 5'10", 205 pounds. Lewis has a child support warrant that was issued during June of 2010. At the time of issuance, Lewis was in arrears of $12,000. His last known address is 10373 Chamberlain Court West in Waldorf, Maryland. Our next subject is Roy Harold Means Jr. He's a 53-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, blue eyes, 6', 170 pounds. Means has a child support warrant that was issued during September of 2010. At that time of issuance, Means was in arrears of over $17,000. His last known address is number 6 Wallace Avenue in Baltimore. The next subject is James Melvin Golden III. He's a 54-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'11", 160 pounds. Golden has a child support warrant that was issued during December of 2010. At the time of issuance, Golden was in arrears of over $41,000. His last known address is number 5 Dale Drive in Annapolis. Our next subject is Michael Edmonds Jr. He's a 35-year-old African-American male, bald with brown eyes, 5'6", 140 pounds. Edmonds has a child support warrant that was issued during April of 2011. At the time of issuance, Edmonds was in arrears of $2,500. He also has 2 circuit court warrants for failing to appear for court. His last known address is 1568 Governor's Bridge Road in Davidsonville. The last subject is Ryan Anthony Smith. He's a 28-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, hazel eyes, 5'10", 120 pounds. Smith has a child support warrant that was issued during June of 2019. At the time of issuance, Smith was in arrears of nearly $25,000. His last known address is 1417 Mirabel Way in Pasadena. Closing out this month's On the Lookout, I want to thank you for watching the show and for providing tips about subjects we highlight. As a reminder, if you know someone who has a warrant or you recognize someone from the show, please call the warrant tip line at 410-566-5688 or 410-LOOKOUT. I'm Sheriff Jim Fredericks, and I'll see you next month on The Lookout.